Hello lovely Flosstube friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Today is my usual monthly roundup Flosstube. I did film a couple of days ago. That was my retreat episode. I think quite a few of you have watched that. I've had lots of lovely comments. Thank you very much. And welcome to any new subscribers, because I think I've had about 50 new subscribers since that video was posted, which is amazing. So I hope you all enjoyed looking at all the retreat loveliness. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you all of my April stitching, talk about whether or not I hit my April goals, of which I had a few. I will let you know what my plans are for the upcoming month of May. It is May the 1st today. I cannot believe it. This year is just flying by. I don't have any haul to show you today because I kind of covered all that in my retreat episode. All my recent shopping was done at the retreat. So no haul today, other than a couple of patterns, digital patterns that I'd forgotten to show you previously. So I haven't bought those this month, like April, but I will be showing you those today. Yeah, so a few things to show you. I've got one new start, I've got one finish, and a few of the whips that I've worked on. But before I get into the stitching today, I was just going to answer a couple of questions from my last video. So I had one question from, let's have a look, Floss Chronicles, asking to know a bit more about the retreat organisation for the Mirabilia retreat that I have just attended. The retreats at Northampton, so that will be the Mirabilia retreat, the Nobam retreats, and the new Bella Filipina retreat, the first one of which is happening in May, so this month. They are all organised by Zarina from Hawkins Hobbies. And there is a Facebook page called UK Mirabilia Stitchers and also a Facebook page called, I'm trying to get the name right, I think it's like UK Bella Filipina Stitchers and Retreats. So if you go ahead to either of those groups, all the details for both the Mirabilia retreats and the Nobam retreats get posted in the Mirabilia group, and the Bella Filipina retreat information gets posted in the Bella Filipina group. So all the information that you would need to be able to book and go on one of those retreats in the future can be found in those two Facebook groups. You could also, if you struggle to find the groups for whatever reason, I will try and remember to put them in the video notes, but you could also contact Zarina directly. She is on Instagram as Hawkins Hobbies. So that is that. I hope that that helps. And secondly, I had a question, I think it was from Amanda, about how do I order my Mirabilias kitted. So a lot of my Mirabilia or Bella Filipina designs I do self-kit, I kit them myself, but if I do want the convenience of just buying everything already done for me in a single package, it is again Hawkins Hobbies and Zarina that I buy from. They do have a website, like I said, they are on Instagram, so yes, you can have a browse on their website, but if something that you're after isn't listed, they may very well have it, but it might just not have been uploaded to the website, or they might have been to a retreat, so the stock inventory on there might not be quite up to date. So the best thing to do, if you can't find what you want, would just be to drop them a message on their Instagram. So I hope that answers those questions. I'd also like to just do a couple of little shout outs before we get into my stitching. I would like to say a big thank you to those who have donated through my Ko-fi account. I do have a Buy Me a Ko-fi link. It is always in my show notes below. I don't mention it very often, but occasionally I do get the odd little donation pop through, which is always really appreciated, and which goes towards giveaways for my channel, helping with postage when I do giveaways, bits like that. So yeah, a big thank you to Nicola who donated in March. I hadn't thanked you yet because I don't check my Ko-fi account that often, but yeah, a big thank you, really appreciated. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone who has shouted out my channel recently. I have tried to write all the ones down that I'm aware of, so if you have shouted me out and I don't shout you out here, I'm really sorry. Do drop me a message and say hi. But big thank you to Johnny Saxon, who shouted me out recently for my Dragon with Pancakes finish that he seemed to quite like. Charlie Feathers has mentioned me recently, lovely Charlie. We chat quite a lot on WhatsApp, and we've just started a sale together, which I'm going to be showing you in a minute. Natalie over at Love It, Live It, Make It Yours shouted me out for my Stitch Bunny shop and showed off a few bits that she'd bought from me. So big thank you to Natalie, and I'm glad that you like your stuff. The Tattooed Stitcher mentioned me recently, big thank you for that. And also Sophie at Soph has started a Flosstube channel, and she shouted me out also. So big thank you to all of you guys, and if I've missed anyone, I'm really sorry. If you have found my channel from somebody that isn't mentioned there, somebody that shouted me out, do let me know who, so I can thank them. So with all my thank yous done, I guess it is time to move on to the stitching. I have done 76-ish hours of stitching since my last Stitchy update, which quite surprised me when I added it up because I was terribly ill earlier on in April, and I had an entire week where I could barely get out of bed, never mind do any stitching. So yeah, given that I had like a full 7 days off where I did nothing, I was quite surprised with that total, but at the same time, I think going to the retreat helped, helped push those hours back up with all the lovely stitching that I got done there. So I am going to start off by showing you my single finish, but first I'm just going to try and find my little board to hold them up on because it's not here. 1 minute. Found it. So my finish for the month, and I'm just checking, yeah, this isn't a start and finish, you have definitely seen it before. So this is my lovely penguin mermaid, or mermaid with penguins. She is absolutely gorgeous. I love her so much. I have stitched her on 14 count Ada, and it's just white with like a sparkly silver thread running through it. The designer's name, now that I'm trying to show you this, has just completely slipped my mind. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Anastasia Shalenchko, I think. In any case, I will put a note down below of who the designer is if you check the show notes, but I'm pretty sure that's her name. She is a Ukrainian designer. I love to support them. So that is just a happy coincidence that this is a Ukrainian design pattern. She is on Etsy, but this pattern is not currently in her Etsy store. However, a few people have had success with just messaging her on Etsy, and she has put this back up for them as a listing. So if you would love to stitch this pretty little mermaid with these cute penguins, you can always just send her a message. I know that my friend Vicky managed to obtain the pattern that way, and I've passed on the details to a couple of other people as well who've asked me on Instagram. So yes, you definitely can still get hold of this pattern even if you can't find it in her Etsy store, and I will link her Etsy store below so that you can find her and send her a message if you like. So yes. She is all finished. I love her. She is just so pretty. I stitched her with CXC on this fabric, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out. I think the stitches look very neat, very tidy. Just love all the colours in her and the back stitch detail. Very happy with that finish. Daisy has already said that that belongs to her, and she wants it in her bedroom made into a pillow. So yeah, she doesn't want too much. That's what she wants. So I'm going to have to try and make that happen. I am not the best at fully finishing anything, but she has made that request, so I will do my best. Whips wise, I do have a new start. I'm going to save that till the end. In terms of my goals for April, I am participating in Letters of the Month. And my April goals were to work on both of my alphabet pieces. So I've got my animal alphabet and my whimsical alphabet. For the animal alphabet, which is a Designworks kit, I think. Either Designworks or Dimensions. I'm terrible today, I can't remember anything. But yes, my animal alphabet, my goal was to do 2 full letters, and when I picked it up, I was part way through the cat. So I will show you my starting point for the month. and I will also show you what this looks like fully completed. So you can see where I was, and this is where I am now. So my goal for letters of the month was to do 2 full letters. So because when I picked this up, the cat was part stitched, I had to finish the cat first for letter C, and then I had to do letter D for dog and E for elephant. And I have managed that, as you can see, but I also did this cute little frog. I'll just give you a closer look at what I've done. So I'll show you all of it actually. So I've done alligator, bird, and finished cat. And then for letters of the month this month, I have done the entire dog, all of the elephant, and then I wasn't going to do F because I had completed my goal, but he was just in the top corner there, and that finished off the top row if I did him, so I thought I can't leave it. So I've done the little frog as well. Really happy with how this is looking. I must confess that I'm not enjoying the threads in this kit very much. I don't know what brand they are, but they are extremely prone to tangling, and I am struggling with that a little bit. So at times this is not the most enjoyable, but thankfully, because each motif is relatively small and is kind of like a mini finish in itself, that is getting me through the frustration of the tangly threads, because, like, you know, this frog, I was having real problems with tangling when I was stitching him, but because he's only small, like, the end was in sight, so I ploughed on with him. But yeah, not loving the threads in this kit, I'm sorry to say, even though I do love the design. So there we go. That is my letters of the month goal completed for this piece. And the other piece I was working on, as I just mentioned, is another alphabet, but this is my Whimsical alphabet. So very different style. Stand up so you can see this a bit better because it's a bit bigger. And here we are. So I will pop up on the screen quickly where I was at the beginning of the month. And I believe that I had done A, B, and C. And I'll show you what this looks like when it's finished, and this is where we are now. So A, B, and C I'd already done, but I have now done all of D, D for dolphin, all of E, E is for elegant, and I just love these. Just look at the detail in them, it's amazing. Such amazing patterns. I absolutely adore Little Room in the Attic, who designed this. Absolutely love her style. Fabulous. So yes, I completed my goal by doing those 2 letters, and then I have moved down to here and done F is for fabulous because I just didn't want to put this down. I had a real good few days where I worked on nothing but this piece, so I got F done for fabulous, and that exceeded my letter of the month goal because that is 3 letters done and I was only aiming for 2. And I've even started on G, which I think is Grace. G is for Grace, and yeah, I'm getting there with that one. So extremely happy with the progress on this one. I've done a lot more than I was aiming to do, so that's fabulous. Yeah, and I love it. This is being stitched on 16 count, like silvery grey white, and it's got loads of sparkles in it, which don't necessarily show up that well on the camera, but it is super sparkly. What's next? So that is my letters of the month goals complete. My other goal for the month, well, not a goal exactly, but my theme. My theme for the month, that is a self-imposed theme, was magical fantasy for April. So that meant stitching on anything that was like mermaids, and I did because I finished my mermaid. Fairy tales, fairies, myths, legends, dragons, all those things. And I decided, as well as stitching on my mermaid, that I would get my snow maiden out. You know, she's like fairy tale inspired, and I've not taken her off the frame, and you won't be able to see her unless I do. Oh, sorry for the squeak. I've done so much on her. I better unclip her so that you can get a proper view. So yes, I decided to work on my snow maiden, and most of this, well, a lot of this work was done at the retreat itself. So I did take this to the retreat. I took 4 things to the retreat, but I only really worked on this one piece and I did do a negligible amount of stitching on one of my other fairies, but I literally pulled that one out for, I think I put like one thread of Krynic into it, and I've not even pulled that out of my WIP pile to show you today because it literally looks no different than last time you saw it. But Snow Maiden should look very different. So I will show you what she looked like last time. So that was my starting point for the month. I'll show you what she looks like finished, because it's always nice to see the completed version. And this is where she is now. Isn't she absolutely wonderful? I love her so much. I hope you can see a really big difference. There's not much difference up top because all the work I've been doing has been down in her skirt. So I've done a huge amount of stitching down here at the bottom, working on that like green bit up the middle of her dress. I've been doing lots of filling in, loads of work with the Caron water lilies at the bottom, and hopefully you can see that I have started beading. You see those pretty beads in there? I hope you can. All that beading that's going up the front of her skirt. And I just love this so very much. I know that I'm nowhere near to a finish, but I kind of feel like she's getting close. I mean, that skirt is very large. There's a lot left to do, but I really am making excellent headway on this, and I'm really pleased about that. So there we go. I'm stitching this on 32 count even weave from my own Stitch Bunny shop in Ombre Snow Flurry, which is like a blue, slightly graduated, like the blue across it varies a little bit in shades, but it's very subtle. And then it's got like a gentle snow print on it. I think it suits her. And I just love how she's looking. I know I've said it, but I couldn't be more happy with this. I love this design so much. I cannot wait to get her finished. So that is my beautiful Snow Maiden. I also did work on my November Topaz fairy. As I mentioned, I will pop a picture up for you on the screen. I'm not going to dig her out right now. I will dig her out after I've done the video and just take a quick picture. So I'll pop her up for you. That is where I am with, I keep calling her November. I did that in my last video as well. She's not November. I don't know why I have such a mental block about her being December. She is the December Blue Topaz fairy. So this is where I'm at with her at the moment. I will try and find a picture of where I was so you can see the two together, and you'll probably see no difference at all because I've literally, like I said, I think I put like one thread of Krynic into her, possibly one thread of DMC or something, and that's all I've done. So there's not a lot to see on her. There wasn't much point in digging her out of my bags. Oh, and I think I just forgot to mention with Snow Maiden that I'm stitching this in CXC rather than DMC, and I'm very happy with how that's looking, really happy. I do think going forward that for my Mirabilias or Fancy Ladies, any that I've already kitted in CXC, I will do in CXC because obviously I've got the threads for them, but going forward, my plan is to either kit them in DMC or in Royal Broidery, and I think the majority will be in Royal Broidery, which I feel is a really good compromise between DMC and its price tag, but whilst still being 100% cotton, unlike the CXC, and it's not prone to like the same fluffiness as CXC. So yes, that is CXC though on my Snow Maiden, and I think she looks fine. I've not really had any issues, so that's great. Last piece of stitching to show you today is my new start. So this was a new start that I'm doing as a sal with Charlie from Charlie Feathers. We both have the patterns, like I'd had the patterns for a while, then Charlie showed them in one of her Flosstubes not too long ago as a purchased item in her like stash update. And it reminded me that I had the patterns tucked away in my stash. So at that point, we decided that we would do a sal together. And yeah, I've made a start. I'm just gonna try and find my notes quickly so I can tell you what I'm stitching it on because my brain is just not working today. So this is Welcome to the Forest by Cottage Needleworks. and I'm stitching this with all the Cord 4 Classic Colourworks and DMC, and I'm stitching it on 32 count Stitch Bunny Nostalgia linen. So that is all the details. This is quite a big piece of linen, but I've not done too much so far. This is my start. I am choosing to stitch this with the free border that the designer released. It's just available on their website. Obviously the border isn't much use without the actual patterns, but I'll pop up a picture for you of what the entire set of patterns looks like with the free border around it, if I can find one. I think there is one on her website. So yes, I'm stitching it with this border all around it, and you can see that I chose to have like a corner start, and I've been working on putting the top part of the border into place, and then once I'd done enough of it, then I've started on the internal white border for the main Welcome to the Forest banner part of the design. Charlie has started in a completely different place to me. I think she started with the little deer, like the little square segment that has a deer in it, but I've started with the banner at the top, and I'm hoping to finish this entire Welcome to the Forest banner before I then move down to doing the smaller 6 parts underneath. And now that I've got some of that border in place, I'm just going to do the border as I go, rather than risk miscounting, trying to do the whole thing and making a big mistake. Yeah, I love the variegated flosses in this. They are subtle, because I don't like massive leaps in colour with variegated threads. Like, I prefer it if they're subtle, which these are. And yeah, I really love it. Oh, also, I've got a new baby unicorn needle minder on there, which I have stolen from the Stitch Bunny shop stash, but it has to be done. I'm always stealing little bits and bobs, especially needle minders, and I love that one. It's so cute. So that is Welcome to the Forest. I love this fabric as well that it's on. I think it suits it really nicely. And that is all of my stitching. So what have I got planned for May? I have a few things planned for May. The first bit, let me consult my notes because my brain is a sieve today. The first thing is that I will be continuing with Letters of the Month, of course, and my projects to work on for Letters of the Month in May are my Ursula Michaels Rainbow Unicorn, which you have seen before. This month I need to work on that, I think for another 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours. And that's going to be for letter R, for Rainbow Unicorn. And I'm also going to be returning to stitching on my Jurassic Park Part 1 piece that I'm stitching for Hadley. And that is for letter J for Jurassic. And I think my goal on that is a set number of stitches. I probably should have checked that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where are you? Yeah, Jurassic Park, 2,000 stitches. Oh, and my Rainbow Unicorn, sorry, is 3 hours, not 2 hours. So those are my Letters of the Month goals. 3 hours on the unicorn, 2,000 stitches into the Jurassic Park. My theme for May is wonderful words, so that could be me stitching on anything that's got lettering in it, words, like typography patterns. The thing that comes immediately to my mind is Emma Congdon, and I do have an Emma Congdon pattern, at least one, maybe only one. Definitely got at least one of her patterns on the go at the moment, which is from the Cross Stitch for the Heart book, like her most recent book release. So I will probably pull that out. It is literally at the bottom of my whip pile somewhere. I've not worked on it for quite some time. So that will be pulled out and I will work on that a little bit. There's no set time or anything. I just need to touch on that project. And then I will have met my theme for the month. And that just leaves me with planning to join in Mermania. So Mermania, we are in May, is a hashtag and a stitch along that is being hosted by Jo from Belushi Stitches and I think a couple of other people, but it's Jo that I was chatting to about joining in. So what is Mermania and what are the rules? I will tell you. It's very simple. There are no rules other than you stitch on mermaid inspired projects in the month of May and use the hashtag. That is it. So if you've got a new mermaid you're looking at starting, or one that's on the go, pick it up, stitch on it this month, use the hashtag on Instagram, and maybe join the Sal Queens group on Facebook that Joe is an admin of. You can share in there as well if you don't do Instagram. And that is it. That will be you participating in Mermania. However, if you want to go a little bit crazy and make it a little bit more of a challenge, Jo from Belushi Stitches did tell me herself when we were chatting about it on Instagram that her plan is to start a new mermaid, new start, for every week of the month. So like if you say every Monday, today's the 1st of May and it is Monday, there are 5 Mondays this May. So if you want to start a new mermaid like every Monday in the month of May, then that will be taking Mermania to the next level with having 5 new mermaid starts. I am still at this point, we are on the 1st of May, I am undecided on whether I'm going to take that leap or not. I do have a couple of mermaids that are mostly kitted. I say mostly kitted, I've got a few like Mirabilia or Bella Filipina mermaids stashed, and I've definitely got all the threads for them. Some of them I've got the beads for, some I don't, but that doesn't really matter because I wouldn't be starting beading straight away anyway. So yeah, I probably have at least 2 or 3 mermaids that I could choose to start right now. The only thing I would need to do is pick out a fabric, because I don't know how other people kit their projects, but I usually, like, I get the pattern, I get the threads, I maybe get the beads if there are beads, and I consider that to be kitted because I only add the fabric because I've got a very large fabric stash and obviously I have a fabric shop. So I only add the fabric to my kit just as I'm starting it. I will pick out a piece of fabric because I have plenty of it lying around. So I don't really like plan to get a specific piece of fabric for that project. I'll just look through what I have, or if I want to hand dye something and I've not got something that I think suits it, then I will just dye something. So yeah, for me, fully kitted means that basically I just need to pick the fabric out. Yeah, so we'll see. We will see later in May what I decided to do about that. I'm really on the fence because I would love to join in and do the 5 new mermaid starts because it sounds like a whole lot of fun, but I don't really need 5 new starts. Yes. Let me know your thoughts. Shall I go for it or shall I be sensible? If I'm being sensible, then I don't think I currently have any mermaids on the go. So if I'm being sensible, then I would just start a single mermaid in May and stitch on that and see how far I get. And I might try and make it a Bella Filipina if I can, because then I can take it to the Bella Filipina retreat that I am attending in a couple of weeks' time. So that would probably be the sensible option, or the crazy option is to look through all my mermaid patterns and start 5 of them, which doesn't necessarily mean starting 5 big ones, because I do have some lovely smaller mermaid patterns that are not fancy lady ones. They're just like small cute patterns. I could do those. Lots of options. Let me know what you think. I would appreciate some help and your thoughts on whether I should go for it or stick to being sensible. So yeah, that brings me on nicely, I guess, to other May plans. My other May plan is to attend the debut Bella Filipina retreat. That is in a couple of weeks' time in Northampton again. Really looking forward to it. I cannot wait. I'm pretty sure that there is going to be a retreat exclusive pattern of some kind. I think I've seen mention of that by Zarina. So I can't wait to see what that is. And also just really excited to see some new faces, meet some new people. Also to see some people that I already know. I think Susie, who makes all the bags and things, is going to be there, and who else is going to be there? I think Teresa Little Stitcher is going, yeah, because I messaged her to check if she was still going, because I saw that a few people had to drop out and she's still going. So that will be fab. And I think there was a lot of names on the list for the people attending that I didn't necessarily recognise, so I think there will be some nice new faces to meet there as well. I have just remembered that I did say that I would show you the the PDF patterns that I bought. So even though I don't have any haul for this month, I think it was last month, I did buy a couple of PDFs that you've not seen yet. These are all from the designer New Leaf Craft. They are a Ukrainian designer, and they designed the Chicks Can Fly spring sale that I am participating in. That was a free pattern, and you know, it's always really lovely when designers give away lovely patterns for free for us to stitch and enjoy. It's really generous, and I like to then try and support those designers by buying something where I can. So I had a little look at her other patterns and I found 3 that I really loved. So I'll just pop those on the screen just as screenshots so that you can see what I picked. So one of them is Woolly Warmth, which I just thought was adorable, really pretty. Another one is a llama pattern. And the last one is a little mermaid pattern, which obviously could tie in quite well with my Mermania if I decide to have lots of new starts. She's only little, but I don't know if I necessarily have all the colours for her, because obviously I've not placed a specific thread order with her in mind, so I might have to have a little look in my stash, maybe, and see what I have. But yes, I just wanted to show you those 3 patterns. They are all by New Leaf Craft, and they are on Instagram. You can find them on Instagram and scroll all their beautiful designs on there. And I did buy directly, so I just messaged the designer on Instagram and I paid by PayPal, and she sent me the patterns. She also supplied them to me in both PDF format and in Saga format for those of you that enjoy using Saga. I love Saga, where Saga files are available, and she does give the designs in both formats. So yeah, that is my little bit of haul. So that is everything stitching wise. Life update for those of you that are interested in that. I have obviously had the school holidays for Easter, so we got up to loads of Easter stuff with the kids. We went to various places that were doing different Easter activities, Easter egg hunts. We went for a nice walk at our local lake. We're really lucky to have a lake nearby. It's always really quiet. I don't think we've ever bumped into a single other person while we've been there. So we took a picnic there on one day that had particularly nice weather. Went and had a lovely lakeside picnic, and we actually took, Adam does a lot of fishing, and we took his bait boat. So he has like a little remote controlled boat that you send out onto the water when you're fishing, and the bait for the fish is all loaded into the boat, and then you press a button when it's in the spot you want and it opens up and like flicks all the bait into the water. But we repurposed that when we went for our picnic, and we used it as a bread delivery boat for feeding the birds. So that was really, really fun, and the kids loved it. So we like loaded up the boat with all little bits of bread that were all crumbled up, and they drove the remote control boat out into the middle of the lake near to where the swans and the geese were and a few ducks, and then they press the button, deliver the bread, and then bring the boat back. So yeah, that was really fun. They really enjoyed it. What else have we done? I was very ill, so I was out of action for a full week. That wasn't very fun, but I was really glad that I recovered in time to go to the retreat, because at one point it was just dragging on so much. I didn't know if I would be well enough to make it. So that was a relief. What else? I'm just trying to think. My brain is honestly not working today. I think I'm just a bit tired. Oh, puppies. Yes, that was my other bit of exciting news. So probably, yeah, the most exciting thing that has happened in April was that we had new puppies delivered. Any of you that watch my Flosstubes with any regularity know that we breed dogs. And yes, we've had new arrivals. So we had a beautiful litter of 9 new babies from my girl Freya, and they're gorgeous. They're absolutely lovely. I will insert a little video for you so that you can see them. They're getting super cute and grown up now. Daisy and Hadley are just starting to interact and play with them now that they're like a big enough, they're still tiny, but they're big enough to be handled by the kids. Like my kids are good with puppies. They're fairly gentle, but still, when they're like tiny, super tiny newborns, we don't let them touch them. But now that they're like 2.5 weeks old, going on 3 weeks, their eyes are open, they're shaky on their feet, but they are starting to try and move around. So we do let the kids at this point start to have more interaction with them. Yeah. With Freya, I did actually film her giving birth, like not the whole thing, but I just happened to have my phone handy and I did capture a little bit of that. After I've said my goodbyes and signed off, I'll actually insert a clip of that at the end for those of you that are interested, because some of you might be. Like for me, I never get tired of it. I think it's an amazing thing. Really, really amazing. For those of you that don't want to see, like, it's not too graphic or anything. But yeah, if you want to see the puppy and like how we do it, like, because we supervise our birth, so we're always with our girls. So when the puppy's born, like we make sure that puppy gets out okay. We make sure that the placenta comes out with it. We clean puppy up, make sure they're breathing, like clean their airways, and then give them to mum. Yeah, so if any of you are interested in seeing that after I've said goodbye to you, I will just put that at the very end. And obviously if you don't want to see that, then yeah, you can just basically turn off now. So much love to you all. I will hopefully see you for a mid-month update in May. And I will let you know what I decided to do with this mermaid fiasco, but let me know your thoughts. What shall I do? Please help. Yeah, I will see you all in a few weeks. I hope that you get loads of lovely stitching done in the meantime. And if anyone's going to the Bella Filipina retreat, send me a message. Say hello. I would love to know who else is going, because like I said, a lot of the names were new to me. Yeah, a lot of people's names on the list that I didn't recognise from like the Mirabilia retreats. So it would be lovely if you would say hi. See you next time, guys, and enjoy the puppy miracle birth cuteness if you are interested in that. Take care.
If you are still watching, this is just your last reminder that the following scenes will include a real live birth, puppies being born. If you're uncomfortable with blood or other fluids or things of that nature, I really suggest that you switch off now. But for those of you that take a great interest in my puppies and regularly send me messages on Instagram about them and things like that, I just wanted to share this with you because it is a big part of my life and a big part of what we do. And I know some of you will find it, you know, just as beautiful as I do, but others may not. So yes, please switch off now if this is not your cup of tea. Thank you.
Hi guys, so I said that I would add this in at the end just for anyone that's interested. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that we breed dogs. And this is Freya. It is the 13th of April and we are in the middle of an active birth at the moment. Adam is here supervising. Hello Adam.
Hi.
So yeah, this is the reality of dog breeding. We're here in our puppy room. This is Freya in her whelping pen. So she's got her box, she's got her own space, away from all the other dogs, where she feels nice and safe and happy. And she started giving birth around like 45 minutes to an hour ago. It's now 1:30 in the afternoon, so we're gonna have a busy day. She's got a big belly. We think there's quite a few in there. And we've got two so far. One little boy who's hiding there under her armpit. And we've also got one little girl. She's doing really well. She's very happy, very relaxed. She's a great mum, giving them lots of fuss, attention, cleaning. And yeah, we will be here for as long as it takes. So the kids have got telly, they've got snacks. I'm nipping in and out, bringing fresh towels. And Adam's in here permanently now until she's finished. Yeah, so we'll see how many we have. So we've just moved the puppies over to one side because we think number 3 is on the way. Here it comes. Good girl, Freya. Good girl. Good girl.
It's okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
It's a big one.
Big puppy. Good girl, Freya.
Go for it.
Good girl. It's okay.
Push, 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 push.
Oh, good girl.
Good girl, Freya. Good girl.
Good girl.
There.
Good girl.
Right.
It's okay. Good girl.
So now just hold on so I can pull the afterbirth out. in one piece.
Yeah, she wants everything as complete as it can be. Prevents retained placentas. So this is Poppy coming out of the sack. And Freya's very happy to let us do this. Like, obviously she trusts us completely, and it just makes sure that everything's done right. Whereas if she was to chew it off herself or anything like that, they can chew the cord off a bit short. So yeah, we are quite hands-on just to make sure that everything goes right. Adam's just clearing the airways. Freya's coming to have a little check.
Well,
It's getting cleaned up.
stem the blood.
Good girl, Freya. Good girl.
Change your blanket.
Fresh towel. Let's get him cleaned up, Frey. Another tricolour.
No.
Freya's trying to eat the afterbirth, which...
Hold on, Freya. Good girl. Just give him a clean. So,
Good girl.
so Freya. Just doing.
Oh, that was a squeak.
You keep down until they squeak. Make sure the airways are clean. There we go.
Yeah,
And then she goes.
all yours, Frey.
There she is.
Another beautiful pop. Good girl. So, that is puppy number 3.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah, welcome to the world, Pop. 3 beautiful babies so far, Freya. Well done. Is it a chocolate?
Try.
Tricolour, sable.
Or black and tan, maybe.
Let's have a look at you. Are you a boy or a girl?
Tricolour.
Are you a boy or a girl?
He's a little girl.
Little girl. 2 girls and a boy, Frey.
There we go.
There we go. 3 down. And we're not sure how many there are to go, but we're still looking very big. How many did Freya have on her first litter?
10.
10. She had 10 last time, so this could be a very long day.
9, maybe not.
But obviously by the time you see this, I will let you know how many we've had. But yeah, I hope that you found that interesting. This is the part of my life when I'm not cross-stitching. And we do enjoy it. Beautiful babies, Freya. So 3.5 hours later, just under 4 hours, we have changed our bedding. We've got a nice new fresh bed. Freya's having a snooze, and we've got 9 beautiful babies. Absolutely gorgeous they are. We've had a pretty much textbook birth, and yeah, a very good day. My stitchy time will probably not be as abundant over the next couple of weeks, because the first 2 weeks is very intensive in terms of keeping an eye on them, making sure they don't suffocate. We've constantly got the baby monitor on her, which is glued to us even if we're not in the room, constantly checking her on the monitor, coming in and checking on her. The box has these rails in, which are this is a purpose-built whelping box, so the rails basically prevent the mummy from being able to lie against the sides of the box directly, so that if a puppy gets stuck behind her, it won't actually get crushed and suffocate. It will just be under the rail and she can't get past the rail, so they do help. But yeah, it's still important to keep a really close eye on them. You know, they can still manage to get themselves stuck in strange positions, and she can potentially just still lie on them in the middle of the box, depending on where they are. So yeah, just lots of supervision for the next couple of weeks is the main thing, because she does all the hard work in terms of the feeding and cleaning them and things like that. And then really it's when they get to like the 3-week sort of mark that the harder work begins for us in terms of cleaning them and things like that, because at that point they start being a lot more mischievous and messy. But yeah, for now it's just a case of checking their weights, making sure they're all feeding well, making sure they're all latching well, making sure that Freya is being well fed and that she's building her weight back up, because 9 puppies is a large litter. It's quite a strain on her to feed that many puppies, so she needs lots of food. She was eating a lot during this pregnancy, but she still lost a bit of weight, a bit of body weight. It's a big litter. So yeah, she needs feeding back up now. Lots and lots of treats and nice food. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this. Everybody loves baby puppies, and they don't get much newer than this. They're a few hours old. So yeah, I will show you these guys again when they get a bit bigger and a little bit more interesting. And here are the babies now at 2.5 weeks old. Look, they're asleep. Aren't they cute? Look how cute they are. They're getting very chunky. Chunky babies. Wake up, sleepyhead. Wake up. Wake up. Hello? Yes. Can never get enough of puppies. Love, love, love them. I hope you have enjoyed the puppy update. I know it's not stitching related, but who doesn't love a cute furry baby?